Welcome back to this, the final installment of the restoration of Silvership One. With the bottom side of the model presenting the most work, the main objective was to fully sheathe any areas where the original corrugations of the cardboard could be seen, such as these highlighted areas. Here you see on the opposite side, this process has already begun, where I'm covering any corrugated areas. So various materials are used to accomplish this. Here is a nice silver colored paper plate material, which I use to make thousands of little strips, and here is a takeout container which had an interesting diamond pattern. While the outline of the Silvership shape is apparently symmetrical, the surface detailing really is not. I like to think of it as 100 shades of silver, gray, and organized chaos, akin to the ancient walls built by the Incas, where a knife blade cannot even be inserted into the joints. This process took several weeks. When completed, in the end, the entire underside will be given a matte spray coating, which will dull the new silver paneling just a bit and tie everything in very nicely. Fiber optic installation begins. The objective here is to utilize the existing patterns of yellow tiny square paper portholes that are a feature of this model. Back in the day, before there were ever any fiber optics in this, depending on how the model was lit, whether an area was in a well-lit situation or in a shadow situation, those little yellow squares gave a good simulation of windows. I'll be replacing portholes which have become detached and adding additional new portholes later on. This process took several days, and when I was finished with this particular area, I performed a test, as you can see here. This is a quilter's pencil, an incredibly useful item which I discovered. It's a very soft metallic silver lead, which is a perfect match for the original silver coloring. You might recall from the earlier segment where I explained that certain areas of the model were subjected to a dark gray overspray in an attempt to make some of the details more visible. This silver pencil is one way where I can undo some of that overspray and bring the coloring back to the original silver that it was. So it's not enough to just take an area like this and give it a big spray coating of new silver paint. This is a restoration, not a repainting. We want to work in harmony with the existing colors, and in the particular case with the dark gray, we want to be able to utilize the contrast, not completely obliterate the dark gray, but to make it more in harmony with that philosophy I explained of 100 shades of silver and gray. So here, after the silver pencil, I'm adding some of the silver panels and fiber optic installation. This is the non-hero side, in other words, not the hangar bay side. So there never were tiny yellow paper portholes. Those will be added later. Here is a part that's missing, and even with my great system of saving parts, it is not to be found. Fortunately, we have the original film and we can freeze the frame, and I can just make out that that was a tank cogwheel. So that part will be replicated as it were. I happen to have a couple of plastic gears which are about the right size, and with a little effort using a drill and then some inking, I have replicated that part, and I'm pleased with how it now looks. More fiber optic installation on the front bow, a little bit of repair work on the front corner, a little bit of pot fabrication, restoring that front corner. Porthole restoration and installation, and as promised, in my archives of 1970s paper stock, there's the original yellow paper that I used all those years ago, and I'm making a new supply of portholes, hundreds of them. A common location of wear and tear is, of course, the edges of the model. This is a typical example of just how intricate some of these repairs needed to be in order to restore the appearance. perfect example of just how indispensable the silver quilter's pencil has been, allowing me to get into the tiniest areas. I want to illuminate the auxiliary bridge area of the model. Because of the recessed area beneath this section, as you can see in this view, the fiber optics will have to be routed through the top and then down in to the deeper section of the model, as is depicted behind this white line.